To the right side of the map, in the orange, we have our Protoss player. With a win in this game, he can secure his spot in Code S. It is
Empire Venus.
OGS, former OGS Vines, now Empire Vines. He has one loss so far. He lost against Pold on dual side, and his opponent losing 3 games today already. He is in Code A, there's no doubt about it, but he might be able to take at least one victory in today's group. It is the Terran player, Finest Hosa.
NS Hoso jjakji.
It's jjakji, indeed.
There he is. And I'm wondering what build we're going to see from jjakji because, the answer is given. He's going for a gas here. Very likely to go for a factory build on this map. And as we saw yesterday with Puzzle, sometimes when you're out without any chance, when you play a game that doesn't really matter, you just do a weird build because you're like, well, this build couldn't give me an easy win or an easy loss. I don't really care. And, you know, again, we said pride's on the line here a little bit, but in reality, this match does not matter for him, so he's going to play it, and we'll see what he does.
If Vines takes this game, the situation in the group will be very, very, very easy. If he takes the game, he's in Code S, and the winner of Young and Pold is going to advance as well.
Yep.
That's then there will be no tie, nothing. It will be just straight up all the games, and the winners of the next 2 matches will advance. As only there could only be a tie situation if Vines is now losing to jjakji. To put it simple.
Yeah. Keeping it simple. Calder, you're like on top of everything today on this group.
I have everything mapped out in front of me.
I don't have to do anything. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's right. I like look at your paper. I'm like, seems to be correct.
You don't read anything. You just look at it. I saw you looking at me earlier when I tried to write down the potential tie scenarios, and like, what? I don't care. He'll tell me later.
I'm like, I'm just gonna focus on these games. You can focus on the group situation. It's like when Luke told his co-pilot, episode 4, he's like, you focus on those fighters, I'll worry about the tower. Okay, it's a similar situation here. We do see the Nexus going down now for Vines as the factory finishes up for jjakji, who is going for Marauders right now as well as concussive shells. We may see Marauder Hellion.
Yeah, exactly. We might as well just see an attack like this. And
but the factory is in a position where it's kind of weird to see Hellions. Like, he probably wants to lower it. Oh, look at that. The Stalker checks but misses.
Wow. The Stalker actually checks but does not see the factory as it's on the high ground. Very interesting here. But yeah, the thing is that jjakji apparently going for some kind of all-in strategy.
Why is he not putting his factory on the low ground, I wonder? I mean, I know the Stalker could have seen it if it were there, but now that the Stalker's gone...
The only reason that I can up with this is that he actually expected him to scout.
He's scouted already, though, and he saw that he scouted, so to put it on the low ground and make his Hellions rally out so much faster, like a ton faster. A few SCVs being pulled here right now. Probe does scout the Marauder, and that's going to be really helpful. Will Vines actually cancel his Nexus? That is the question. I don't think he will.
The gateway tech is done, so he will have gateways in just a second. Here comes the attack.
Okay, put it on the low ground now, and he's going to rally from there.
Oh, he can't cancel anymore. He will wait.
No cancel available. He will wait, but there will be bunkers, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to break out here.
He's warping in units right now. I think he's fine. He needs the Chrono Boost, but he's getting more and more Stalkers right now. And, well, takes down the Marauders, at least tries to. He needs to put up some good micro here. He needs to be careful, though. The bunker is building, and he's getting probes now as well into the battle. The Hellions are kind of gone. There's another one, and whoa! The Hellions take a huge amount of probes out of the game.
This is basically game. The bunker will finish. The Marauder may not be able to get inside, though. Gets in, and he actually will hold. He will hold, at least as far as armies go. He was not going to be able to continue the attack with that many Stalkers out. With another round of Stalkers, he will be able to kill the one.
The huge problem that he's facing now is that his economy is in a really bad shape.
27 to 18. Right now, jjakji's probably going to save up for a command center. In fact, you can see he's already doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Vines kind of... well, he can't really attack with his Stalkers. He needs them to break the bunker first. Oh, actually, it was salvaged.
Yeah, he went for the salvage. I think a good choice. Rather
and now
that 75 back.
Vines will attack here. Oh, no. Wow, we have a lot more Marauders than I actually thought. Okay, he has 3 Marauders, he's getting a 4. Yeah.
He could still do a lot of damage here, though. This is actually such a weird game. Oh, he went back, though.
jjakji kind of going for an all-in because he realizes, well, it's the last game for him. It doesn't really count too much, but he's in a good position.
It was a fairly even trade. I thought that there would be more SCVs pulled with that attack, and in the end, he only had a few, so good micro by Vines, good decision-making not going down too soon. It was able to not only keep the Nexus alive, but keep all its hit points there, killed some reinforcements.
With the Nexus, he can rebuild his harvests a lot faster. It was really important for him to save the Nexus.
It's 26 to 28 now, still in jjakji's favor, but in just a few seconds it's going to be even.
Those Corona boosts help a lot.
Don't forget, of course, mules, though.
Yeah.
The tech for Vines is a little bit behind as well in some ways. He's getting his Twilight Council now. His opponent has factory tech. Could have made a starport. Oh, in fact, he already did.
Drop play is coming now into the main, but Vines is on top of things. He's like, wait a second.
I was like, I think he could have had a starport as like a dropship flies in.
Nice control here with the Hellions, but they could not do any damage at all.
He's dropping the Marauders into the main. 4 of them, in fact. 4 Marauders versus 4 Hellions with the medevac support could have killed all those Stalkers.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised to see him move back. He did not have Stim yet, though.
Nope. Blink is on the way here. That's going to help him defend against the drops. We're basically having a normal transition here for Vines into a pretty normal game. The timings are a little bit off, but otherwise everything is pretty normal. jjakji is going to, I think, go for Stim and +1 with medevacs, do a big push.
With the early aggression that we saw by jjakji in the first few minutes of the game, the timings are definitely a little bit weird, and this is just something that, well, especially in the mid game and when it comes to the late game, a lot of parts in the game is still kind of freestyle. You have to have a good feeling for what exactly you can do, how many units you need. And this time Vines pulls his Stalkers off, and if oh, there they are, okay. I was really worried for a second that he would move the Stalkers to the low ground when jjakji was about to drop, because this dropship is still a threat.
Yeah, it's something that could become a problem for him. I think he's going to continue to keep his units in the main, though, because he could be facing double drops now. And if he does not have his units in the right place when that happens, he can lose a game as a result. This drop will go off, but jjakji doesn't know how many units are here. He's going to want to pick up right away.
Link is not done, but it will be in a few seconds. Just not done in time to take down the dropship. There were like 2 seconds missing.
He killed some probes there. It was a successful drop. Not very successful, but successful.
Vines is behind in supply, as you can see. 85 against 67. The harvester count is dead even. The tech now coming up for Vines, though. He's going for the Robo and at the same time researching Charge, and Charge will help him a lot. And, well, we talked about Vines' style. He really loves to get a ton of gateways later on. Right now he's adding additional 3. Apparently in one of the matches that he played in the EG Masters Cup against once again, I'm missing the player's name, the guy from Switzerland. I'm sorry, the Zerg player. Well, he built up to 24 gateways.
Yeah, that's a ton, man. He's really loving that style right now. We have Templar Archives on the way.
I'm really sorry today. That is already the 3rd time or whatever that I can't come up with a name. Earlier, I forgot what the Robo is called. The Observer thingy. I'm like,
you and I, we work hard, man. We can roll out a few mistakes. It's okay.
It's like, what? It was Biggs. It was Biggs.
Well, right now, man, jjakji is taking a pretty big supply lead, 111 to 83. Those mules really paying off. Vines, also, part of the reason here is he's spending so much of his resources on tech.
Yeah, exactly. His tech is looking pretty good. And if you think about it, that is a very similar build to what he used against his last Terran opponent on Cloud Kingdom. He is going... Oh, this time he's actually going for Storm. The Templar Archive just finished. He's going for Storm this time. He has upgrades. Charge is about to be done as well.
You have no 4th base just yet.
Nice.
He's even going to deny it with the
Brilliant. The drop is spotted immediately. That was actually really, really nice. This Observer definitely paid off. Double drop with the Marauders, that would have done a ton of damage.
Yeah. Hellions do delay the 4th base of Vines, so he has to move his units over there to chase them away before he can take that 4th. Or 3rd, excuse me. See, man, I make mistakes too. Like, it's all fine. jjakji, though, of about 50 supply right now. can just go for a big push. His upgrades are about to be at 1-1, and if I'm not mistaken, the upgrades of the Protoss are about to be +2 armor, but no attack upgrade. He will, however, have Storm and a lot of energy on these Templar available to actually use those, so...
That basically stops jjakji's aggression for now, because if he attacks into a choke point with his opponent using Storm, then he will lose a ton of units. He has to be very careful about when he engages, but the supply is heavily in favor of jjakji. He's 50 supply ahead.
Yeah. And he does not start his 2-2 upgrades just yet. He doesn't have the armor. He hasn't even started it, so it looks like that's not really his concern right now. He just wants to do a big attack with 1-1. Biggest 1-1 timing attack I've ever seen. Like we said in the beginning, the timings of this game are a little bit wacky because of the opener. He's going to be able to force a cancel on this Nexus potentially. It's all going to come down to the Storm. Storm is ready. He's got several Templar available.
And then no Colossi. The Vikings useless at this point. And whoa, that first Storm was pretty good. The second one, not really on top of things, but
he just has too many units, Caldor.
It's
Even
too
if
much.
he storms, he just all he has to do is dodge and come back. Vines is out of luck. His Nexus does complete. He cannot cancel it. The Vikings landing here. And it looks like jjakji is going to make a name for himself in his 4th and final game, putting him at 1-3. GG calls Vines.
Whoa. jjakji with a win in his last game. Doesn't change the situation for him. He is in Code A, but it changes everything for the group, as now we have Vines and Line tied on 2-2. Line still has a shot. He still has a shot here. He has to rely on Ryang winning against Pold, and then we will have a tie situation between Pold, Suoshin, and Vines. And well, for Pold it's a little bit different. If Pold is actually able to win the next game, he will be, he will advance.
Yep. And then we'll just have basically the other players will be tied.
I have to have a quick look how that would actually work out. That's the one map that I didn't do just yet. Vines won against Suho. Ryang was able to beat Suho as well. So Line would be out in case that Pold wins. He would lose, and the match between Ryang and Vines was won by... Where is it? By Vines. So okay, if Pold wins the next game, then Vines and Pold advance.
Yep. So even though Vines lost that last game, this is why you were saying earlier you thought the order of the matches was like a little bit, like they could have done it in a different order potentially.
We talked about it yesterday. For the players, it's always a little bit weird when you change the order of the matches, because they have kind of, they know when they are scheduled to play, so they will prepare accordingly. And if you suddenly change everything, then it does not really work all that well. The player might not be able to prepare well, and yeah, it's just off. So that was actually fine. So
and
right now,
all the games, I feel should be played because in the correct order, because it gives the feeling of more the group is actually important. You know, it's all about the group. Yep. You get everyone's tested against everyone, so everyone gets the correct scores put down. So for example, jjakji, yeah, he got out, but like he did beat one player, so he went 1-3 instead of just 0-3 with the 4th game not played, for example. I think that's really important. I mean, if you want to actually have group play, that's when I think, you know, it's important to see. So anyway, we are gonna have Polt versus Ryang playing against each other on Daybreak. In fact, you're giving me this look like you've made a mistake.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I don't know. I relied on you, man. I'm like...
That is actually the problem when you do all this stuff while you are on camera and while we are currently talking, because you always have to kind of entertain the audience as well and just talk about what's happening. So, yeah, then suddenly if you just look at one of the matches like the wrong way and you suddenly think, okay, well, he won, but he lost the game, then everything will just go downhill. So the situation is a bit different. We could have another tiebreaker, I think. That's... the one problem that we have with Vines beating Ryang. Ryang would be out. Suho would actually advance. No, Vines would advance. Okay, it's good. It's good. All good. All
right.
The result is the same. The reason is different, but the result is the same. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. It's confusing. We have a really tight situation here in the group.
All right.
The fact of the matter remains: if Pold wins, then Vines and Pold will advance.
And we are going to have Polt versus Ryang right now. Countdown has started. Ryung, known as the TBT sniper, he was able to beat jjakji earlier today. Can he beat Polt? This seems to be kind of a weak matchup for Polt. We'll find out if he can just take the easy road to Code S here at the GSL up and down matches with Calder and Wolf.